and welcome to another live stream watch-along reaction. Tonight we're reacting to St. Louis City SC versus Real Salt Lake, MLS 2026, round 18, week 18, match 18. For St. Louis, it is match 18. For Salt Lake, it is match 17. But St. Louis is in a playoff spot already, and they're red hot. It's winning one before drawing one and winning one before the World Cup break and winning 3 on the bounce after the World Cup break. St. Louis is on fire right now. And we're going to see if they can continue that at home at City Park against Real Salt Lake. Salt Lake, on the other hand, is ahead of them in the table. How we doing? We are here again. Yep. How we doing, Angus? How we doing? St. Louis City SC, RSL is 4th, but they've lost 2 in a row. They're hitting a dip in form when St. Louis is hitting a jump in form. And by the way, if St. Louis wins this match, they will go above Real Salt Lake in the table because they will have more points than Real Salt Lake. So this is a 6-pointer, to be honest. These two clubs are doing pretty good. I agree. They both are, except, well, overall in the season. But St. Louis has been really red hot recently. Salt Lake has hit a little bit of a dip in form since the World Cup break finished. So let's see what happens. Yohan Dames, St. Louis City versus Pablo Mastroeni's Real Salt Lake. You would think the red hot team who's playing at home would beat the team who's in a dip in form. Starting 11 in goal for St. Louis City, Roman Berkey. The back three of Lucas McNaughton, Timo Baumgartel, and Dante Polvara. Or Polvara. Dante Polvara. Tomas Totland, Daniel Edelman, Chris Durkin, Conrad Vollum, Sang Bin Yong, Edward Leuven, Simon Betcher. Damn small type on Fot Mob. Yes, same Roman Berkey who played for Dortmund, yes. Starting 11 for Real Salt Lake. Rafael Cabral, the back three is Sam Junqua, Philip Quinton, DeAndre Yedlin, midfield 4 of Zach Booth, Noel Kaliskin, Griffin Dillon, and Juan Sanabria, Diego Luna, the 10, and the front 2 of Sergey Solans, and Rodriguez dos Santos. Sergey Solans, yes. See, okay, we screwed up just slightly on a last name on each team. How we doing, Henry? Small type got me. I'm good here. St. Louis wins 3-1. I would agree with that. I think St. Louis should win this match. I agree. Club America San Diego match is going to have a halftime show. Of course, I'm tired. Jesus Christ. Stop these halftime shows. Nobody asked for them. It's a freaking Leagues Cup match. Yedlin, hell of a career. Yeah, he's still around, though. Marcel Hartel's on the thumbnail, but he ain't playing. Well, he's on the bench, I should say. He's on the bench, but we'll be live for this match. We'll review it, and we'll be back tomorrow for the Leagues Cup prediction video. Should be interesting. And then, of course, the Caribbean Cup prediction videos on Monday. Here we go. Suarez just scored almost halfway. Damn. Lamel. Here we go. St. Louis v. RSL. What's the Cascadia Cup? The rivalry between all 3 teams in Portland, Seattle, and Vancouver. All 3 teams are part of the Cascadia Cup because they're in the Cascadia region of North America. St. Louis 5-1, says Henry. Okay, that's a little bit crazy. Huh. Roman Berkey in goal for St. Louis. Dante Polvar, Timo Baumgartel, Lucas McNaughton, Thomas Totland, Daniel Edelman, Chris Durkin, Conrad Vollum, Edward Leuven, Simon Betcher, Songbin Yong. Happy Mudrick is back. I guess. I'm not. Maybe he'll be better. And Kobe Henry is... Damn, Xavier Gozo just took a hip injury. I thought he was at the... No, it does not look like it. Rafael Cabral on goal. The back three of Junqua, Quinton Yedlin, Sanabria Dillon, Griffin Dillon, Noel Kaliskin, Zach Booth, Diego Luna, and the front two of Sergey Solans and Dos Santos, Rodriguez Dos Santos. And Kobe's not on the bench. Kobe Henry's not on the bench. Lucas Engel is... Saba Lobjanice is, Dominic Marchuk is. Somehow, Xavier Gozo got hurt at the All-Star game, I guess. I wouldn't say it's niche, but okay. Edward Leuven, the player to watch for St. Louis, 2 goals and 2 assists in 10 matches this season. I mean, I wouldn't say Purina is niche, but definitely not in St. Louis. I don't know why you would think it's niche, but either way. I thought it was a pretty popular brand of pet food and pet essentials. And Diego Luna, 4 goals and 3 assists this season in 11 matches. Damn, he did eat his feelings away. Shit. I thought y'all were kidding. Nah, he ate his feelings away at the World Cup, that's for sure. Or during the World Cup, that's for sure. Well, yeah, that's true, but at least St. Louis has a local sponsor that is a good company. Salt Lake wearing their checkerboard kits, and St. Louis will be wearing their city red jerseys. Well, I would assume so. Don't tell me they're going to be wearing the frickin' Messi's on the bench for Miami. I don't know how they can do that. I think that's breaking the rules. He hasn't been off for 4 weeks. Yeah. Why anybody... Man, I saw a post about St. Louis also has checkerboards on their kit. Because Purina. Because Purina. Yes. I saw a post of somebody saying they were disappointed to go to the Galleria 6 Theater for the Odyssey. No. Here's the thing. Never go to a theater in a mall. Especially nowadays. If you're going to go to a theater, go to a standalone theater. Certainly in St. Louis, you have your choice. Of all the former Warenbergs, maybe a couple of AMCs, and Miami's looking good without him right now. But him being on the bench is going to put a down somebody's back. Shiver. There we go. You going to watch a new Spider-Man? No. If I go to the theaters soon, it's going to be for Super Troopers 3. It's going to be for Super Troopers 3 is what I'm going to the theaters for if I go to the theaters. I mean, it's coming out August 7th, so I'm sure I got about 2 or 3 weeks to see it in theaters if we can. The place to go to movies is where you go wine and dine. Well, I mean, Warenberg does a good job of adding those wine and dine places. Oh, Alamo Draft House. Oh, yeah, St. Louis has an Alamo Draft House, yeah. I've never been. I kind of want to go, but I've never... I mean, going like 20, 30 minutes to go to an Alamo Draft House just to get that experience. I'll just go to the Warenberg. I'll just go to the Warenberg 15. Cinema. Let's go, yeah. Or Marcus 15. It's Warenberg. No, it's Warenberg. No. I get rich enough. Bingo with Alamo Draft House. There we go. If I get enough money, if I get rich enough, I will buy the Warenbergs back and the Warenberg name, and I'm bringing that shit back. No. Nobody likes you, Greg Marcus. Nobody. Thank you for the reclining seats and thank you for the restaurants, but you got rid of what makes movies movies. Ba 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 ba. You get it. You get it. They said they wouldn't get rid of it. That motherfucker lied. Nobody wants to see your face, Greg. People want to hear ba 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 ba. This ain't Minnesota. Okay? Good talk. This ain't Minnesota. Good talk. Good talk. Either way. Now the question is, if I ever got rich enough, would I bring the Warenbergs to Mississippi and Toronto? I would try. But I do love those connections. So change them all back and then bring some down to Mississippi and bring some up to Toronto. I mean, yeah, I do like the reclining seats, though. Like, I can't complain about those. I can't complain about those. I can't complain. I really can't complain about the in-theater restaurant either. And bar. Can't complain. But we're about to get ready for this game. It is the St. Louis stream, so let's make a reference to Warenberg, won't we? Where should St. Louis strengthen on the pitch? Ooh. I mean, I'd like striker. I mean, I like Simon Betcher, don't get me wrong. But he ain't João Klaus. And it's Chris Penso's the center ref tonight. Oh, no. Oh, no. I can't really say. I mean, I like what they got. Maybe back line. Maybe center. I mean, I like Luke McNaughton. That's not where I'm going with this. Shit. If they keep playing like this, I don't know where to strengthen. And frankly, they didn't play bad before they got hot. They just couldn't finish. St. Louis needs a 9. Betcher is decent, but they need quality number 9 that scores. Yeah, that's where I would go with it, yeah. I like Simon Betcher, but Betcher has a huge difference between goals and expected goals. I mean, I like Simon Betcher, always have, but even before he came to St. Louis, when he played for Vancouver. But, yeah, I would go striker. I think I would go striker no matter what. And we're off. I'm not saying bring Klaus back, but, you know, Simon Betcher ain't João Klaus. Playing forward. Turns back, and St. Louis has the ball to begin. He is 27, too. I mean, he's in his peak. He is at his peak. So, yeah, we probably 11 goals and 67. They could probably get better, yeah. Because, I mean, I like the midfield. I like Leuven and Hartel and Sangbin. Playing forward is RSL. That's going to go back. I know that was to their goalie. Okay. I like Vollum. I like Durkin. I like Edelman. I like Totland. I think Polvera's solid. I like Baumgartel, but I could see something better there. I like McNaughton. Always like Lucas McNaughton, as you know. Roman Berkey's Roman Berkey. And, I mean, I think Ben Lunt is a good backup. And at some point, he's going to become the starter. Question is when. Diego Luna has been a hit and miss lately. To be honest, I think he's hurt, honestly. Soul-wise, mentally, he's hurt. Mentally, he's hurt, I think. But, you know. But, either way. I think Ben Lunt is a good backup, though. I think he's solid when needs be. Let's see if he's onside. Betcher. Betcher has the ball, crosses it in. That's going to go out. Getting the rebound wasn't smart, but it's a throw-in for St. Louis. Should just let it go out for a corner, but okay. Totland. Good pass back. That's going to stay in. Good job. Polvera keeps it in. I got a little bit worried there. 0-0. Polvara. Wait. Polvara. Maybe I do. Maybe I should go get my eyes checked sooner rather than later. I mean, it's been almost 2 years. Probably wouldn't be too dumb. Oh, good. CM Punk beat Cody. Let's go. CM Punk is still the WWE champion. Good. Yon Dame, the manager for St. Louis. Desperate defending for Columbus. Nearly 2 for Miami. Yeah, not surprised. Honestly, I didn't even know the Galleria had a theater. Never knew. I mean, I could have sworn. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. Or could it be new? You thought Middlesbrough having 3 MLS players on their squad. You know what? They're all Columbus players. They're all close. Or former Columbus players. They're all close. I think it's good. It's like FIFA Mobile. They got the connections. Chemistry. So. Smart, honestly. Galleria's had a theater forever. I'm not a fan of malls, though. Definitely haven't seen a movie at that theater. Man, that I haven't been to the Galleria in a while. It's been a couple of years. Shit. Which mall did we... I could have sworn we went to a mall on our way back from... Maybe it was. Even that 2023 little staycation or whatever. Maybe it was. So it's at least been 3 years. Or 4 years. Playing for it. It's been a while. I know they have a Cheesecake Factory, though. Normally, whenever I go to the Galleria, I eat at the Cheesecake Factory. That's always been a thing. I know they got a cheesecake. At least they used to have a Cheesecake Factory. Again, I haven't been in like 4 or 5 years, so that might have changed. The goal came out of nowhere for Columbus. I heard Argentina's been making lists. Cody's turning heel. Oh. I do love the Apple Store. Wait. Wait, you're... They actually... There's no way. 7 minutes in. I don't see no clips of it. 0-0. Playing forward, St. Louis. In through, that's going to be... They have the ball. Wait, Cody attacked Randy? Randy attacked Cody. What do you mean turn heel? You mean Monday Night Raw or SmackDown? Cody got attacked by Randy, so how does that make any sense? Okay. 0-0. Either way, playing forward. Throw in for RSL. St. Louis definitely looks like the better team so far. But things can change. 9 minutes in. Do you rate Kevin Sullivan? I mean, he's a solid player. I think he's a good player. He's young. He's going to Man City. I think he's a talented player. Young, talented prospect. Do I think he'll make it at Man City? That remains to be seen. I mean, if they don't seem to really... If he was that, like, paradigm shifting, you would think that maybe... If he was that paradigm shifting, you would think that maybe he would find a way to save Philadelphia from the rut they're in. So I think he's a talented prospect, but we'll see what happens with him. I think the jury's out, but the real story will be told when he plays for Man City. Like, I think that's the story in my book. So either way, 11 minutes. So we'll see how the second half goes. Or the whole game goes, I should say. Second half. It's not even the first half yet. It's not even the halftime yet. St. Louis. Playing forward, St. Louis. Betcher loses the ball. Yeah, you know what? And that's going to go out for a goal kick. Too heavy of a pass. Playing forward. Red Bulls 2-0 up on Orlando. The hell? 13th minute. Throw in for RSL. Orlando just scored. It's 2-1. Tyrese Spicer scored. Well, there you go. So now it's 2-1. But Red Bull are still ahead. Well, that would kind of suck. Not knowing if your team's shit or not. 1 week they put in a good performance. For a little bit of a run, they put in good performances. Then right after that, they put in shit performances for a little bit. Like, it just goes from good to shit. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. I don't know if I could... Well, I don't know. Maybe it's better. I don't know. I'd rather be... Honestly, I'd rather my team be obviously good or obviously shit. I don't know if I could handle this. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Playing forward, and that pass is overcooked just slightly. Outran. Vera just scored an absolute banger. Brian Vera just scored an absolute banger. Montreal. Jeez. 2-1 Revs. Vera just scores. Top box. Outside the box from top left corner. Nashville's 2-0 up. Expected that. 1-0 to Atlanta. 2-1 to Red Bulls. 1-0 to LAFC. 1-1 Miami Columbus. 0-0 Chicago Charlotte just started. Minnesota 1-0 over San Diego. Sporting KC Houston 0-0. And 0-0 between St. Louis and RSL. And 4 games to finish. Wait, what? Rain delay in Cincinnati, I guess. Sun scored. Rain delay in Cincinnati, I guess. Yep, there you go. Okay. Colorado, Austin, LA, Dallas, and Portland, Seattle, and maybe Cincinnati, San Jose at a later moment than normal. Playing forward. Leuven gets through. Shot just wide by Leuven. Edouard Leuven puts it just wide. That was a good shot, though. I thought he had it. Playing forward. Oh! That's, I'm surprised that wasn't a foul. That looked a little bit, that looked crazy. That did not look pleasant. I need to see a slowdown of that. Did he get the ball? Because that's probably the only way that's not a foul. Going forward, St. Louis on the other end. Shot saved by Cabral. Shot, but not in. Going bowling. I guess that Livin will go to midfield once Jose arrives. Probably. Which I don't mind that, honestly. I don't mind that at all. Playing forward. Durkin. Oh, good tackle. Was Diego Luna made that tackle? Well, good for him, I guess. McNaughton plays it forward. Playing forward. Good step by Leuven. Good step. He's still got it. I can tell you that. Betcher. Totland. Cross. Shot. Save. Rebound. Nope. Covered by Cabral at the last second. Oh, that was close. Edelman was running onto it, but Cabral covers. St. Louis definitely looking like the better team. They just haven't scored yet. It looks like how it's been looking. St. Louis looks red hot. RSL looks scuffling. So, there you go. Playing forward. Cross in, that's out. th minute. Leuven, 66% possession. St. Louis 7 in the box. SLC 4. Yeah, that tracks. Two Montreal. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Really, Revs? Really? Can't stand y'all. Actually having a pretty good season, draw Montreal. I think that's enough for them. No, we are still a point ahead. Thank the Lord. We're still a point ahead. Okay. As long as they don't win. And then we play the Revs on the 15th. Swear to God, if they draw them and beat us. Playing forward. Prince Owuzu, of course. Of course. 21st minute. Playing forward. Oh. Brings it down. Turns. Totlands. Second minute. St. Louis should win this game. It feels like they should win this game 3-0, 3-1. It feels like it. Let's see if that continues. Betcher goes wide. Honestly, I'm going to be honest. You know what? I think we pointed some out. Brought down. Betcher looks like 3-1 Red Bull. I don't want to say problem, but Betcher definitely looks shocking. Not shocking, but not good enough tonight. How about that? Not good enough. He's had the ball at his feet. He's had chances. He's either gone wide. .23 minute. RSL on the ball. St. Louis on the ball. 1-0 Charlotte for Pep Beal. I'm not surprised. No, that doesn't surprise me. .25 minute. .25 minutes. St. Louis kind of slowing down a little bit in the past couple of minutes. Playing forward. .26 minute. Salt Lake playing it around the back. They're definitely struggling. They're definitely getting pressed heavily. It's only a matter of time. I'd be shocked if St. Louis don't get a lead by the half. Or even maybe a 2-0 lead by the half. It's getting tight. It's getting close. They just finally get on the end of that final ball. That was not one of those. Goal kick. Edouard Leuven, 31 touches. Diego Luna, 9. And that tells you exactly how this game's going. That's a padlock stat right there, as Josh Pate would like to say. That's a padlock stat right there. I mean, Edouard Leuven, of course, is a good player. Great player. But him having 31 touches of the ball over Diego Luna having 9, that just shows you what this game is. That is a padlock stat. I don't have a piece of paper to pop, but either way. That is a padlock stat. Yes, it is. Noah Allen 2-1 Miami. Didn't see that one coming. Or at least the fact it was Noah Allen. That didn't see that coming. Leuven plays it over the top. Or at least switches the play. I won't say over the top, but curls it over to switch the play, and that's going to be a free kick for St. Louis. Different angle than you want to say over the top. And that's going to be good run. Yellow card for Leuven. Called for the foul. Header. Okay, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. Edouard Leuven gets a yellow card. I mean, yeah, he pulled him. Yeah, it's soft, but it's a yellow. But it's Chris Penso, so why are we not surprised? It's Chris Penso reffing the game. We can't be surprised. Robert Lewandowski scored his first goal for Chicago Fire, 1-1 against Charlotte. You love to see it. 28th minute. Penso's a garbage ref, but, I mean, you kind of have to at least call a foul there. Is it strong enough for a yellow? I wouldn't say so, but cleared away by St. Louis. I wouldn't have given a yellow, a foul, good enough for me. Soft foul, definitely a soft yellow, but it's Penso, so. Advantage, okay, no, it is a free kick. Yeah, if you give a yellow to Leuven, that should be a yellow. Yep. If that's the standard you're setting, yellow card to RSL to Quintone for that foul. Yeah, if you're going to set a standard like that, yeah, I agree. If that's the standard you're setting, I'm not saying, I think that definitely was closer to a foul than, I mean, he bowls into him. He goes bowling. Yeah, that's a yellow card. Pablo. He gave a yellow for a slight pull of a jersey. He went bowling into Betcher. Yeah, no, that's a yellow card. I'm sorry. From the standard, honestly, even if it wasn't set, it's probably, I can see the argument. But since you set the standard that impeding is a foul, 2-1 DC over Nashville. Whoa. If you set the standard that impeding is a foul, and you give a yellow for a slight shirt pull, giving a yellow for being bowled over, bowling a guy over after he beats you on the dribble, yeah, no. I'm not saying I agree overall. In the macro, I agree. Because if you're going to set that standard, that's a yellow card anytime. For sure. I could argue with I could say what Quintone did would have been a yellow anyway. Nashville 2-1. Oh. Okay, it's 2-1 Nashville. I was like, oh. I was like, 30th minute. It is 2-1 to Nashville. Yes. Hefty. Oh, so DC did score, but they're only down 1 instead of 2. Okay. Playing forward. But again, if you're going to set, Dorsey scores 3-2. 3-2 for Orlando. Okay. 3-2 for Orlando. Griffin. But again, if you're going to set the standard of a shirt pull, a slight shirt pull is impeding is a yellow, bowling a guy over after he beats you on the dribble is a yellow card. Yeah. I'm saying if you're going to set that standard, that's a yellow. Oh, their center defender is on a yellow. Kaliskin drops back. Free kick. But Durkin, it's only a free kick when it comes to Durkin. Okay. Kaliskin fouled. Former Timber. It's going to go. St. Louis has the ball. Third minute. Playing forward. Oh. Headed away. Third minute. Atlanta 2-0, Mayumba. What a shot. Atlanta down to 10. They're leading in Philly. Philly's garbage, though. It's not as much of a shock as it was last year. Alexandre Maton's on the bench. Speaking of, former Columbus player Alexandre Maton on the bench for St. Louis. Sangbin, goal! Goal! Is he onside? Nope, offside. 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 Damn. Sangbin, what a shot, too. What a shot. Nah, he's definitely off. Definitely off. He was definitely off. That's not even a question about it. Free kick for St. Louis. Playing forward. Playing forward. Out for a throw. Leuven. Throw in. Header down. Luna picks it up and clears it. If that's the only touches, Whitecaps penalty, Thomas Muller taking. If that's the only touches Luna's getting is to clear the ball outside the box, you're doing a good job. Shot blocked away. Took it way too late, to be honest. 36th minute. Took it way too late. 1-1, Thomas Muller's had it. Whitecaps. German discipline. German discipline. Yep, there you go. Free kick for St. Louis. Arsenal sealed the signing of Bruno Guimaraes for £70 million fixed and $10 million in bonuses. Well, there you go. Over the top. Brought down. Philadelphia scores 2-1. Ilioski. Headed away. Top of the box. Shot blocked away. Durkin's shot is blocked away. Tautland has the ball. Switches the play. Brought down. St. Louis. Blood's in the water. They just can't put the frickin'... They just can't get a bite on their line, I guess. 68th minute throw-in. RSL is... They're getting burnt. It's a wonder it's tied. It's a wonder it's tied, honestly. Shot over the bar. Thirty-ninth minute. Thirty-ninth minute. Playing forward. Baribo, DC ties. 2-2. He's on fire. He always is. Like, he's legitimately... And that's a free kick for St. Louis. Yeah, that is a tie for Nashville, DC. Baribo ties it with 10 minutes to go. Ooh. Yellow card for Yedlin. Because, of course, Booth, Quinton, Leuven, and Yedlin. 4 yellow cards from... 4 yellow cards from the... 4 yellow cards from Chris Penso. Can't say I'm surprised. And Obafemi beat Brock. Well, there you go. Obafemi beat Brock Lesnar. '40th minute. Are either of these clubs in Leagues Cup? St. Louis is not. RSL, did they make the playoffs last year? The MLS teams that make the playoffs play in Leagues Cup. Brock vs. Oba was 15 minutes long. Yeah, Brock is retiring, ain't he? Let me go check. I don't feel like RSL's in there. I know St. Louis ain't. Playing forward, shot wide. St. Louis didn't make the playoffs. I don't think Salt Lake did, but Salt Lake is in there. Okay, Salt Lake did make the playoffs last year. I don't even remember it. Are you happy Cody lost? Yes. No, they played Dallas. Well, yeah. St. Louis is an Open Cup semis versus Rapids, yes. St. Louis are 2 games away from the Champions Cup and the Open Cup, but they might also make the playoffs. Austin, Charlotte, Chicago Fire, Columbus Crew. Okay, Austin didn't make the playoffs last year. I know they didn't. Miami is playing Leagues Cup. So it isn't just playoff teams. Mostly playoff teams. Winning the MLS Cup gets a star over their logo. So every MLS Cup you win is a star. Yellow card, 43rd minute. San Diego, Seattle, Vancouver, Portland, Philly, Orlando, NYCFC, Nashville, Minnesota, LAFC, Miami, Dallas, Cincinnati, Columbus, Chicago, Charlotte. Austin and RSL are the 2 teams where I'm like, can Canadian teams get in to the Leagues Cup? Yeah, Vancouver's in it. It's through MLS and Liga MX. If you make the playoffs, you're guaranteed to be in Leagues Cup. But there is some backfill as you look at Austin FC. Free kick for RSL, Diego Luna to take. Shot wide. Austin FC, Tier 2. Like last year, Austin did not. Oh, they did. Oh, yeah. Oh, they lost to LAFC. Okay, they did. Shit, I forgot about that. RSL lost in the play-in to Portland's. LAFC swept Austin. There we go. No, they're in it. All playoff teams. I mean, it's the top of the league. Like, you're the best team in the league. Be no loss to me if Leagues Cup is eliminated. I mean, I haven't been able to fall in love with it as a Toronto fan because my team hasn't made it. Oh, well, no, they did make it. They played 2 of them. But in this new format of like 16 teams or 18 teams per league and all the playoff teams make it, no, I haven't been able to, which I think is the better format. They never played it when it didn't mean anything. They played 2 of them when everybody was in, and now in this new format where it's just the playoff teams, they were not in it. They would never do it. I want CPL teams to play something in one of these sub-championships in CONCACAF, but they would never be able to play Leagues Cup because MLS would never go for that. 45th minute. Yeah, they did. I don't know how I forgot about LAFC beating Austin in the playoffs. Philly, Chicago, Cincinnati Crew, Miami, Nashville, Charlotte, NYCFC. I remember the East straight up. And Chicago in the play-in, or Orlando in the play-in. Yeah. Wild card. San Diego, Portland, Vancouver, Dallas, LAFC, Minnesota, Seattle. I remembered Salt Lake and Austin. That was a blip. That was a blip. I mean, LAFC did beat the shit out of them. 1 minute of stoppage time. 1 sub, Spearings. So we'll go to 47 minutes because Spearings on for Dillon. I think it'd be the MLS worst nightmare to have a USL team win the Open Cup versus a big MLS club. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. I want to see it happen. I want to see a team like Louisville or a team like Louisville or Sacramento win the Open Cup against an MLS team. Especially now that MLS has barely put their teams in the Open Cup. Or they only put a certain amount. No, there's a guy on Salt Lake with a last name Dillon. His name is Griffin Dillon. Griffin Dillon. I knew you would say that, though. Well, super better than CF Montreal. You know, I'll believe that. I'll go with it. Super is doing pretty good right now. I'll stand on that. Tomorrow, Mount Pleasant versus Delphines del Este for the Club Shield champion. 47th minute. Lol. And that's halftime. 0-0. St. Louis somehow down at the half. Honestly surprised. Or not down, tied. It feels bad not to be winning. They should be winning in my book. But if it's and buts with candies and nuts, 0-0 at the half. We'll take a short break, talk about the stats, get this one going, sit tight, be back. St. Louis should be leading, but, well, it is raining in St. Louis. Showers, but none to stop the game. But I guess there's still some showers on the back end of that low pressure that's now in Cincinnati that came through last night. Either way, sit tight, be back. Short break, 0-0. We're back for the stats of the half. St. Louis is averaging 2.6 points per last 5. Salt Lake is at 1.4. Yeah, and St. Louis is performing under that point total right now. And I guess they both are. 67% possession to 33% possession, 7 shots to 0, 1 shot on goal to 0, 304 accurate passes to 128, 88% pass accuracy to 77, 2 yellow cards to 3, 0 corners to 0, 7 shots to 0, 3 shots off goal to 0, 1 shot on goal to 0. We got 346 pass to 166, 88% pass accuracy to 77. We got 7 throws to 5, 2 offside to 0, 2 yellow cards to 3, 0 red cards to 0. 0-0 at the half. St. Louis is dominating right now, though. St. Louis is dominating RSL right now. They're all over them, white on rice. It's a wonder they're not. It's a wonder St. Louis are not up by 1 or 2 goals. 1, 2, I don't know about 3, but one or 2 goals up, 1-0 or 2-0. You would think they would be. Oh, Miami's wearing their new 3rd kit. Oh, well, look at that. But, you know, well, with that being said, I think St. Louis is definitely the better team. Dominant. Should be winning this game. Not winning this game. Again, look at how many touches of the ball that Leuven has had versus Diego Luna. Padlock stats straight up. If Diego Luna's most memorable touches in this game is clearing the ball out of the box, doing a pretty damn good job. Full time 1-1. Life is good when Messi's playing on a Saturday. Full time 1-1 in which match? Oh, there we go. Montreal, New England's a 2-2 draw. DC and out at Vancouver, LAFC share the points. 1-0 to LA, or 1-1. Yeah, 1-1. Oh, Fut Mob never added the goal. What the hell? Fut Mob never added the goal for Vancouver. That's just okay. So it's really 34 and 30. Oh my God, they're tied on points at the top of the table. Oh, damn. They're tied on points at the top of the table. Vancouver and LAFC. St. Louis is 7th with 26 points with a draw. They'll be at 28 points with a win, which would mean they'd be behind the San Jose Earthquakes. Gazdag coming off. Montreal, New England's a 2-2 draw, which means TFC is still ahead of Montreal by a point. Nashville, DC is getting close to a tie. Atlanta looking to hold the lead. Red Bulls looking to beat Orlando City 3-2. Miami 2-1 over Columbus, 1-1 at half, 1-0, 0-0, 0-0. Cincinnati and San Jose has not started yet. Oh, it's 8:46 p.m., so they will get started. Okay. Spatzer off the bench with a goal and assist versus Red Bulls. I'm happy for him. Sadly enough, Orlando's still losing. But I'm happy for Spicer. Second half about to start in the St. Louis game. 5 minutes to the second half kickoff. Okay. Griezmann is washed. Didn't he score in his first MLS match? He scored in the first minute. He scored in the first match. Red Bulls, hang on. You want me to prove you wrong just like I proved that Jamaican fan wrong earlier? All I have to do, Griezmann, assist tonight. His first MLS match was versus San Jose. He scored 1 goal, 90 minutes, in a 4-0 win. Go check the Fut Mob. Assist for Spicer. He, in his second match against Nashville, was 1-0 to Orlando. That must be the one you're thinking of. Spicer in the 72nd. His first actual match with San Jose with a 1 goal and 4-0 win. Don't make me prove you wrong. He did. Check the Fut Mob stats. Hey, actually, here's the link. It's right there. I'm gonna pop the link in there since you want. Don't come at me. You're thinking home debut. I'm thinking of debut overall. The Crew were the dynasty that never came to fruition. Honestly, I'd say Toronto were similar. Toronto similarly, I would say. Funnily enough, you know when it went to shit for both teams? Honestly, 3-2 for Philadelphia all the way back. Philadelphia comes all the way back. Toronto and Columbus both similarly ended up being a dynasty that never was. Okay, fair enough. We'll take that. Alado, 3-2 to Philly. Okay, Fut Mob's just off its ass right now. Can St. Louis win it in the second half? There we go. Second half about to begin. Atlanta collapsed. I mean, they both do suck. They both do suck. Three 2 to Philadelphia Union. Ezekiel Alado, 90+7. Fut Mob his ass right now. Like, it's just not even registering goals for any team, really. I was hoping the St. Louis match, it doesn't do that. Second half, here we go. 1 minute to the start of the second half, and we will be underway. Fut Mob software department must be on strike at the moment. Teams are out for the second half. Here we go. Sabalov Janitse on for RSL. And here we go. And we're off, second half. 45 and 90. Here we go. Over the top. It's all over. Philadelphia wins. I wish they sponsored me. I want to be paid. Same thing with Coca-Cola. Always bring y'all up. I ain't getting paid. But I'm a creature of habit. At this point, if I use Fut Mob all the time, I ain't going to stop using Fut Mob, whether I'm paid or not. I don't like the SofaScore UI. I don't. It sucks. I hate when I have to use it because a game's not on Fut Mob or it's not tracking because it's a backwater shitty game. Hell, the CONCACAF website is better. It doesn't even have Fut Mob doesn't even have the Caribbean Cup games on it. Speaking of backwater, only on the CONCACAF website can you find those. And only can you have the starting 11s at the beginning of the Central American Cup matches if you're on CONCACAF's website. So basically the two CONCACAF regional tournaments, I have to use their website proper for. I don't exactly like it either, but either way. No. We're good. So the score does. 2-2 DC Nashville. Full time. 57th minute. .6% win probability for St. Louis. Playing forward. Dane St. Clair is what? Like his chances of being the starter? Or, because I would assume starter chances, okay. I mean, I said Rios Novo was better. I mean, I'm not surprised. Playing forward. .49th minute. Kai Wagner put on a show at Philly, created 4 big chances from the 89th minute and had 3 assists and a comeback win. Well, good for Kai Wagner. They needed him, sounds like. They need him, sounds like. I wish Rios Novo was taller, but he does good. No, I have not. 904, I have not. Haven't seen their content. If I run into them, maybe I'll watch. Am I going to look at them myself? Am I going to go out of my way to look at their content? No. If I run into them, will I watch? Sure. As in, if I ever, just because you said it. Playing forward. Especially when it's my, let me put it like this. Like, I don't mind watching Hockey Guy and Steve Dangle. I mean, I do watch Zealand a good bit. I mean, I do watch football videos, don't get me wrong. But I do watch football content that isn't mine. Don't get me wrong. I do watch Zealand a lot. I do watch Alfie Potts Harmer, HITC 7s. I do watch Irish Guy. I do watch Macwell. But I prefer watching, if I'm going to watch sports content, I'm going to watch more of the other sports that I don't cover as much. Like Steve Dangle or Hockey Guy or Corzemba or Foolish Baseball or, you know, Jolly Olive. '51st Minute. I mean, there are football creators I watch, but I mean, I don't know why I would go to SoFi Stadium, but I mean, if I was there, I guess, sure. Would I probably be wearing a St. Louis Rams jersey there? Yes. To make a statement? Yes. Like a St. Louis Rams era? Oh. I think I know what you're talking about. I think I've seen a couple of clips. It is kind of funny, though. I won't lie. I think I've seen a couple of clips, actually. Now that you're saying, yep, I think I know what you're talking about. That is, I think, honestly, I don't disagree. I'm not that delusional. Are you trying to be a caricature? Honestly, if they're trying to be a caricature of me, I take honor in that. I'm not that delusional, though. I may love MLS and I may overrate MLS and Liga MX and CONCACAF in general, but I'm not that delusional. I'm not that delusional. Used to be in Culver City. They moved when Rams moved to SoFi in 2020. Okay. No. Are we doing this again? Playing forward. No. I see your comment. You're in top chat. People can still see your comments. You're not banned. 53rd minute. Timberstar 11, Panamis, Sermon, Miller, Forey, Bai, Chara, Bassett, DaCosta, Velde, Lassiter, Kelsey. Okay. Not bad. Houston scored Guilherme. Okay. Shot blocked away. Corner for RSL. Oh, a little bit of a better start for RSL in this second half. The Jays are 3.5 games back of the wild card. Don't sell. Timbers bringing out the Avengers to stomp Dead Man Walking Dog. I love it. I love seeing the Timbers stomp out Seattle. Ball crossed in. I love seeing Seattle get stomped out anyway, but especially against Timbers. Oh, what a save, Roman Berkey! What a save from Roman Berkey. Let's go. Roman Berkey with a big save. Needed that. Love it. Holy Mackinac. Well, at this point, Toronto ain't going to stomp out Seattle. I'm being realistic here. And I have a soft spot for the Timbers. So, I'm being realistic here. Toronto, at this point, are not going to stomp out Seattle. And even when we beat y'all, we still didn't stomp you out. We like leaving it tight. We like cutting it close. Header. That's out for a goal kick. So, I mean, we've never stomped out the Seattle Sounders. 0-0. What a save by Berkey. Oh, it is a corner for RSL. No. Throw in. Okay. I know phrasing. That was bad phrasing. Header. Definitely not the best phrasing. I guess we're not doing phrasing anymore. 0-0. 57th minute. Playing over the top, cleared away. I'm excited for football season. You are not, son. I can see your comment. You are not banned. You wouldn't be able to comment if you were banned. That's not how this works. Whether YouTube banned you, you couldn't comment because your account will be gone. If you got banned from this channel, you wouldn't be able to comment because you never were banned. And hell, Pacharo and Pepita aren't even here. So I don't know who would have banned you if you did get banned. Corner for RSL. I mean, I can think of a couple people who would. As I just said. Okay, maybe not Pacharo, but definitely Pepita. Header over the bar. He's not even on the bench. How can he play if he's not even on the bench? 59th minute. Get mad at Pablo. In their right mind. Fair enough. Fair enough. 59th minute. Playing forward. Get it. Roman Berkey rounds the keeper. RSL scores against the run of play. Keeper gets rounded and RSL scores. It's 1-0. Solans scores. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Damn. Solans rounds Berkey, and there it is. '60th minute, Sergey Solans. At the hour mark. 0-1. St. Louis dominates the match. RSL looks better in the second half a little bit, but not too crazy. And here we are. Still about 67. Still about the same amount of possession, just One there. 0-1. Corey Ray's on 360 at the moment. No, I have not heard. That was a nice goal. I agree. That was a good goal. I'd be a lot more pissed off if it was Toronto. I'd be a lot more pissed off if it was Toronto. It is what it is. I mean, it was a really good goal. If Toronto did that, I'd be very pissed off. Weirdly enough, I'm not pissed off right now. I think I got it out when I dunked on that Jamaica fan about the CONCACAF U20 championship format. I think I did. Fair enough. That was a pretty interesting moment, wasn't it? And Panama scored against Honduras. Now, RSL has a 65% chance of winning. Header on. And that's what happens. Honestly, if St. Louis loses or draws, I blame Simon Betcher. If only he could have finished. Dude had like 5 good chances at his feet, and he couldn't figure it out. You know what? You're right. Yeah, I think we figured something out in this stream. Simon Betcher ain't that guy. They need an actual striker. Nothing against Betcher, but definitely if he played, when he's on, he's on. When he's off, he's off. They need a number 9. They need an actual number 9. Miami could still not defend set pieces. 2-2 Bryce Mendez for the Crew off the set piece. Of course. There you go. 2-2 with minutes to go. 63rd minute. Banger free kick. Bryce Mendez said, "Hey, take that, Messi." Playing forward. Ball crossed in, headed away by Salt Lake. St. Louis dominated the possession throughout the game. Honestly, had a lot better chances, could not find the goal. And I can't even blame Chris Penso for it. I wish there was a way to blame Chris Penso for this. Who you got for Tigres' next coach? Rumors say Osorio or Lozano. I would rather, honestly, with Tigres and the way they play, I'd rather it be Juan Carlos Osorio. I don't think Lozano fits Tigres. I think it depends if they want to just blow it up or really try to change the generation, or if they want to keep going with what they got. So if they want to keep going with what they got, playing forward overall. And Luis Castillo just got traded to the Seattle Mariners for Sir Anthony Dominguez, Nolan Jones, and Boston Smith. The Mariners traded Luis Castillo to Chicago White Sox. Columbus draws versus Miami. Corner for Hartel. Hartel's on. Good. Corner for St. Louis. Marcel Hartel is on. Good. Wolff's not. Well, they did draw it, but haven't drawn yet. I don't even know. I mean, that's what depends on. I don't know. Ball crossed in. I really have no thoughts. It depends on the situation. Like, if he's playing, that's just dumb. Header. Raw down. Shot saved by Rafa Cabral. Panama's destroying Honduras. Well, good thing we didn't lose. Ball crossed in. Saved. Damn. What the hell? 67th minute. There it is. 3-0 Panama at the half. 3-0 Panama at the half. Thank God we drew. Thank God we drew. Jesus H. Thank God we drew. Panama looks like they're going to move on to the round or the quarterfinals of the CONCACAF U20 Championship. And it looks like they're playing Mexico. Guatemala looks like they're going to play the USA. Panama looks like they're playing Mexico. Jamaica, Canada, rematch. And Haiti, Costa Rica in the round in the quarterfinals. Are the Mariners contenders? No, because why would you trade Luis Castillo if you were? They're in the same boat as the Blue Jays. Last year's AL finalists both choked this year. It's not just the Jays. Both the teams in the ALCS are crap right now. I just hope Sunday's better. 68th minute. Frankly, I could care less about what LeBron does. I don't care. I'm not a fan of him. There ain't nothing that could make me a fan of him. And frankly, there's nothing that could, I really could care less. Shot blocked away. Canada's facing Jamaica, yes. Do I have to go over it again? We're going to see the Astros back in the World Series? No, I don't think they're that good. I don't think they're good enough to do that. It's probably going to be an AL East team or the White Sox. Maybe the Blue Jays can make a run. I mean, they're only 3.5 back of the wild card. Maybe we're not dead yet. Maybe the Jays aren't dead yet. Just saying, maybe we aren't dead yet. As long as you get in, you could win the World Series from anywhere. Ball crossed in. That's out for a corner kick for St. Louis. St. Louis is all over them, but Atlanta Braves are acquiring Lane Thomas and Bailey Falter from the Royals. I think that'll probably be the closest matchup. WWE Night 2s always try to make it up. Ball crossed in. Over the top. Header. Over the top. Lane Thomas. I don't think he's always been a Royal. St. Louis, Washington, Cleveland. Cleveland. There you go. Yep. Cleveland. The Cleveland Guardians. That's what I remember him for. Yep. There you go. SKC about to lose big if Houston care enough to punish them. Sounds like the Salt Lake St. Louis game. St. Louis could have beat Salt Lake badly if they cared enough to punish them, but they can't punish them. Vollum. Cross. Headed away. Right where you don't want to put it. Nil 1. Honestly, at this point, I'm not saying the game's boring, but I'm going to be honest. I can TLDR this in 5 sentences. I really don't want to turn this game into an 8-minute video from 70th minute. Shot blocked. If it ends this way, I mean, I could really just TLDR this into 5 sentences. So, 71st minute. Dryer 1-1, San Diego ties it. That's nothing against this game, but if I could TLDR some into 5 sentences and I don't feel like stringing that into 8 minutes, which I don't right now, to be honest. 71st minute. Now, St. Louis comes back and wins 2-1. Sure, I'll make the review. Header. I hope they do. Don't get me wrong. Shot blocked away, but just bad choices of places to take the shot. Either way, we'll see what happens. 72nd minute. Tomorrow we'll do the World Cup or Leagues Cup prediction. Shot, goal, St. Louis. Hartel makes them pay off the giveaway. 1-1. Goal, St. Louis. Marcel Hartel makes them pay off the giveaway. Bound to happen, I guess. Better late than never. Back to a draw, and they still got time to win it. I say I don't want to make an 8-minute video out of a 5-sentence. Good press by Song Bin, and the goalie passes it right to Hartel, and Hartel puts it away. Can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. Hartel, another goal. St. Louis. Hartel is a damn good player. 73rd minute. 13 minutes later, they tie the game. They still have time to win it. Hell, RSL does too, but maybe they finally get their head out of their asses after that. Playing forward. Song Bin. Song Bin in through. Hartel, what a save. Hartel said, I'm going to do this shit myself. Corner for St. Louis. Hartel just said, I'm going to do this shit myself. Y'all ain't going to wake up. I'm going to do this shit myself. Well, it ain't the first time. It ain't the first time. Corner for St. Louis. Hartel takes. Ball crossed in. Header. Vollum. Vollum has the ball. Cross in. Header. Nobody there. What was he? He freaking did a somersault in the air. Damn near looked like it. 74th minute. Hartel, well, I would hope on a goal, on a shot like that, you find a way to score when you have the ball passed right to you at the top of the box by the other goalie. And then the goalie chose to try to fix his own mistake and come off the line. Hartel, shot blocked away. Still has it top of the box. Shot! Oh, just wide. He came off the bench. Why? I have no idea. I don't think St. Louis, well, no, they didn't. And Hartel wasn't an all-star. 2-2 Miami Columbus. Which is weird. That's harsh. Marcel Hartel should have been an all-star. He's a low-key, he's one of the most underrated players in the league, in my opinion. They put him in the freaking MLS. We got this world commercial. We'll take it from here, world commercial. Even they know it. Even MLS, the league itself, knows he's one of the most underrated players in the league. Maybe Edouard Leuven just don't want to do commercials. Cincy defending is a mess. Muni from a corner. No one got close to him. He's playing like no one here. Lewandowski scores 2-1 fire. Or maybe Leuven just doesn't want to make commercials. To be honest, I mean, I'm not saying this in a bad way. I love Marcel Hartel. I think he's a good player. But in my book, I think St. Louis's face is Edouard Leuven. Edouard Leuven has always been St. Louis City's face in my book. Even though I thought Klaus was an amazing player. I always kind of felt like Leuven was St. Louis City. Like he very much embodied City. Shot blocked away over the bar. Jey Uso getting pinned clean. Good. I'm glad. Corner for St. Louis. Marcel Hartel's sort of in that João Klaus spot, where he's probably the best player on the team. No, he is the best player on the team. But he's still not the face of the team. At least not, I wouldn't say so. But maybe Edouard Leuven don't want to do commercials. So they went with Hartel. I could see him being way more down for that than Leuven, to be honest. Especially after everything that's happened. Ball crossed in, header. Especially with all that's happened with Edouard Leuven and his family, I understand it, that he probably wouldn't be totally down to do a commercial anyway. He probably just wants to play football, and that's probably what he wants to do. He's always seemed pretty reclusive. Not reclusive. He seems pretty... Edouard Leuven has always seemed pretty... I guess reclusive, because I can't think of the other word. Damn it. We'll go with reclusive for now. He's always seemed pretty closed. He's always seemed pretty to himself. There we go, to himself. I can understand with all the stuff that's happened with his family, that's probably even more the case than it was. Because, I mean, I can't imagine going through the stuff he's gone through, losing his wife. I can't imagine. I can't imagine. Let me make sure I'm not talking out my ass. Yeah. Olatunji coming off for RSL. I mean, the stuff like him losing his wife to brain cancer, Edouard Leuven, I can understand. I can understand that he'd become even more closed off and even more to himself than he was in the beginning. He's always been a quiet, hardworking guy, in my book. And he's never been a big personality. 1-0 SJ San Jose. He's never been a big personality. Extroverted, introverted, extroverted. He's very introverted. And I can understand that becoming even more of himself. St. Louis's field looks like it snowed or something. Well, it's raining, so there you go. Ball crossed in, and it rained last night, too, heavily. 1-0 or 2-0 for Houston. Kuipers is a very good player. He's a very good player. Let's see what he does, though. I think he tore his ACL, didn't he? He's injured. 1-1, 79th minute. Hell, if this is 1-1, frankly, I'd still probably wouldn't do a review, to be honest. Only if St. Louis comes back to win will I do a review. The way this is going, they probably will. Punched away, caught. Because even with the draw, it's still a fast sentence. I can't make 8 minutes out of that, or I don't feel like it. I could, but I don't feel like it. Already did the Canada video anyway. Not as bad as some Central America fields. I see all those footprints. Yeah, I don't blame you. Here's the thing about St. Louis, and I can tell you this first-handedly. There's been a lot of flash flood warnings in the metro area. It rained a lot yesterday, especially in the southern counties, the southwestern counties. That's where the biggest severe weather was supposed to be. But even St. Louis and the metro got some rain. Song Bin with a yellow card. But it's been getting a lot of rain, even if it hadn't been severe recently. There have been a lot of flash flood warnings over the past 2 months, I would say, in the metro around St. Louis and in South County and going into close to Rolla and that area. There's been a lot. Here comes RSL. Crossed in, cleared away. 10 minutes to go. So it's raining right now as well. So it's been raining tonight as well. So lots of rain recently over the past. I mean, even this summer even the spring was pretty stormy, but it's felt like it's a lot more rain than storms recently. So do that what you will. Well, Edouard Leuven played for the Germany Olympic team in 2021. Huh. Didn't realize that. Cleared away. Hasn't rained in the past couple of days. Well, in Colorado, probably. Or LA. I don't know which, but I know. I was keeping an eye on the weather yesterday. Here, I know it rained. I know there was a severe weather risk yesterday. Over here. So. No, it didn't get bad enough. To be honest with you, I think Colorado's a state that rains in the summer more in the spring or other seasons. It used to be not like this 4 years ago until El Nino or La Nina in 2023. Well, now it's El Nino. It used to be a La Nina. But I think there are places that get more rain because of La Nina. Either way. No, yesterday it didn't get bad enough for Steve Templeton to roll up his sleeves. Take off his jacket and roll up his sleeves. Didn't get bad enough. Angus gets that one, I bet. I don't know. We'll see. Since he equalized, it's going to be a goal fest that game. Yeah. That's crazy. That was June. Where I live in central St. Louis County, it's a lot of thunder and clouds with some rain. Yep. But it's not severe, though, so no worries about having to see Steve Templeton roll up his sleeves. He didn't really do it last night either. It's only when it gets serious or it gets closer to the Metro where he does roll up his sleeves. That's a thing. Header, wide. That's a thing. Trust me, I've watched enough Steve Templeton severe weather coverage. I know. I mean, I'll be honest. Steve Templeton's probably one of the best meteorologists in meteorology, straight up. I'm going to say that personally. Actually, I think the KMOV weather team is awesome in general. All of them. Ken Earhart, Steve Templeton. I'm not Cody. Ask him to do it. Kent, Steve, Matt Chambers, Chance Gotch, Leah Hill, Kristen Cornett. They're all awesome on the KMOV weather team. They all do very well. I didn't want Cody to bring back Finish the Story either, but you know. But yeah, Steve Templeton is an amazing meteorologist. Hey, I like Jim Cantori. Jim Cantori's one of the GOATs for me, but I'm also a hurricane guy, so. Then again, honestly, if Cantori showed up where I was, I'd be like, I ain't leaving. I'm going to chase this stuff. People only hate Cantori because either way. I'm the crazy guy who would chase the stuff, so I'm the crazy guy who would chase the stuff. So if Cantori showed up where I was, I'd be like, yep, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I'm the crazy guy who would chase the stuff. But local meteorologists, Steve Templeton, James Spann, Matt Lobhan, when it comes to Alabama, Mississippi, and St. Louis. Oh, Kent's awesome too. Ken Earhart's. It sucks they've not used him as much. They use Kent more on those freaking Great Day and Studio STL or whatever, the St. Louis, whatever. The lifestyle shows than actual news. And it sucks. And it sucks. I know he's getting older. I get it. I know. Hey, that works. Same. 86 minute. 86 minute. Studio STL's Fox. That shows you that I don't like watching Fox 2. It's a shitty channel, but I had to watch it because of the World Cup. Fox 2 is garbage. Fox 2 and KPLR, CW11, because they're both owned by Nexstar, they're both garbage. At least KPLR, you'd be like, yeah, it makes sense why it's lower quality. It's a shittier station that never was good in the first place. Fox 2 used to have quality. It used to. Even if I didn't like Dave Murray and I think he was way too harsh in his presentation of severe weather. He cared about people, but he was definitely very high-strung. Steve gets the information across, but he does it in a very teaching manner. But ever since Nexstar bought Fox 2, it looks like it's just low rent, completely low rent. And I mean, I said that during the World Cup. I don't know any. The only thing I know about him is the fact he was with Chloe Bailey. Or was no. Chloe? No, Hallie. Either way, whichever one it was. Whichever one it was. Damn. But guess what? Chris Renier is still there. I don't know. When they're good, I mean, they talk about them a little bit on the. I love it. Thank God. I hope that the World Cup rights in the next World Cup are not on Fox. That's the next thing we got to worry about. Let's hope Fox loses the World Cup rights. Well, the Women's World Cup's going to be on Netflix, so fair enough. Just hopefully. Maybe not to Netflix, but, you know. 88th minute. (1-1). So at this point, if it stays 1-1, no review because it's 5. I could describe this in 5 sentences, and frankly, I don't feel like stretching that out to 8 minutes. So, and the Canada video is doing amazingly. So if I did make a video for this game and it gets no views and it blunts the Canada video, that'd be stupid. So I don't really want the Canada video to get blunted. So you know what? Hopefully no goal against or no goal for. Hopefully it stays 1-1. So I don't have to make a video that nobody's going to watch anyway, comparatively to the Canada video. Whatever's happening at Philly happened in St. Louis. That's pretty much what the fact that they start hot and they go weaker and they just get worse and worse as time goes on. It's the same thing that just happened in Philly. It's similar. They have an amazing first season with him, and the second season's garbage. And for some reason, Philly hadn't fired him. St. Louis fired him. Philly did not. 3 minutes of stoppage time. Or has not. I think it's a very similar situation. I just think his system, once people figure it out, it does not play well. That's what I'm starting to figure. Looking at Philly doing the exact same thing St. Louis did, I'm starting to feel like the longer he's the manager, the worse they get. I'm starting to feel like that's the case. I agree with Herc. I agree. I heard Carnell lost the locker room in St. Louis. Not sure about Philly. Well, Philly's cheap, and he probably lost the locker room. So, I mean, that tracks that Carnell lost the locker room. That tracks. The way they fell off, especially kind of starting after Leagues Cup 23 and certainly going on into 2024, yeah, that tracks. That tracks. And I guess the same would be Philly. So I guess it is a personality tactics thing with him, I guess. San Diego's outside of playoffs right now. Bad vibes. They don't like Mikey Varas or Heaps right now. Because the fans chose Lozano. Even if the team didn't choose Lozano, the fans chose Chucky. And I feel like it's a poison chalice. I feel like the vibes are just bad. Because the fans, and every misstep leads to the fans wanting Chucky more and more. And going against Varas and Heaps more and more. And that weighs on the players. It's bad vibes from the fans. Because when you have mistakes and you take out a big DP who is talented, and losing a guy like Olowski sucks too, I feel like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy with the bad vibes from the fans. There's a dark cloud over that team of their own making that the fans definitely, I don't know if they think they chose wrong or right, but you can't tease fans with a guy like Chucky Lozano and not exactly tell them what he did to get persona non grata in the locker room and then them not choose him. And then every mistake, they just choose him more and more and more and get against the coach and the GM more and more and more. I think it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, to be honest. In my opinion, but, 93rd minute. Header cleared away. Top of the box. St. Louis in the final minute. Header down. McNaughton doesn't get there, and that should be a full-time whistle. And it's full-time. 1-1 draw. Frankly, St. Louis deserved to win, but they couldn't finish. They luckily at least got a point, though. No, we won't do that. With that being said, if you like this stream, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification. Once subscribe. Send some chats on live streams. Comment on this video. Put this in playlists. Hit that hi button. Put this up in the algorithm. Hit that join button to become a member. Send chats on the live streams. Comment on this video. Put this in playlists. Share friends and family. All that great stuff. St. Louis should have won. Didn't win. At least they came back to draw. That's 3 sentences. Dominant, better team by far. Didn't go their way. With that being said, I will see you tomorrow for the Leagues Cup prediction video. On Sunday, I'll see you on Monday for the Caribbean Cup prediction video. And I'll see you Tuesday for matches on Tuesday. We'll let that Canada video get some run, because it looks like it's going on a good run, and I really don't feel like making an 8-minute video sticking 5 sentences into like an 8-minute video. So I'll see you tomorrow. I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace.